grab a cup of tea. Hi, Denise.
Hi,
I need to adjust my camera just a little bit. How are you?
I am doing great. How about you?
Good. I'm just giving everybody just a little bit of time to get on and get comfortable. We're gonna have
Sounds
so much
awesome.
fun getting to know you a little bit better and seeing your wig wardrobe. I love that part of her. Hair and happiness. Hi, everybody joining. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey everyone, this is my first live on Instagram, so I'm gonna just try to see if I can see some of the comments. I know
Yeah.
that I may miss some, so I apologize in advance if I missed some of you guys. I'm so excited to see people hopping on though.
I know. And then I'll try to tell you the questions too. So if I see something, but everybody use the little question box next to the comment section, or you can just type it right in. Tell us where you're from. And we're going to have so much fun. We're going to get to know you a little bit more, Denise, and we're going to learn about your hair loss journey. We're also going to learn about all your wig wardrobes, all your tips and tricks. So stay tuned, get comfortable, grab a cup of tea, coffee, a Diet Coke, whatever you
Lemon
want to grab.
water.
Lemon water. It's funny because I like literally have my drink right here.
I know
But
I
get
have a
comfortable.
card table next to me with a bunch of wigs and a little TV tray next to me with a bunch of other wigs, just so that I
Nice.
can easily grab everything.
I know. I saw somebody looking at us behind you. Hi. Okay, so we'll just give a couple more minutes and let everybody get comfortable. But if you want to, I'm gonna pin your Instagram, which for our followers, so it's at Hey Wig Sister. Hey Wig Sister, and I'll pin that. So if you guys aren't already following her, please do. And I love your page and your content. Let's see what's going on here. Can you still see me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, it got kind of dark for some reason. Okay, so how did you come up with that Instagram handle?
Gosh, I really don't know. I first started out with just my name. I
Mm-hmm.
used my regular Instagram page. I didn't create a wig page or anything like that. And I guess I just wanted people to find me more easily who were on the wig journey because I had so many questions in the beginning. So I just one day thought of it and I changed my page name, and I had already started doing a few YouTube videos. So my YouTube channel doesn't have that name. It has my name because
Oh,
that's
okay.
kind of how I started out. And you can't change your name on YouTube or you lose all your comments, or there's some way to do it,
Oh,
but it
okay.
would ruin or all my responses to comments and all my videos, and then it would look like I never responded to anybody, and I didn't want that. So I'm Haywig Sister here, but Denise Sheets there, and it is what it is.
Okay, so now that we're kind of into that and your name, but just tell us your name and where you're from for our viewers that haven't met you yet.
Yeah, so my name is Denise Sheets. I am from Minnesota. I've lived here all my life, and I have four children, two of them in college, one in high school, and one just finishing up middle school. I'm married, and I've been losing my hair for over 20 years.
And so how did that start, and kind of what were some things, some signs that you saw maybe before it got bad, or like before you turned to wigs, like what was that like?
Yeah, so I look back at pictures of myself in my early 20s and I can see the thinning starting, but I don't know that I really realized it
Hmm.
because I've never had great hair. It's always been really fine and thin, and so I really started noticing it after the birth of my oldest. And so I was 20, almost 27 when he was born, and the postpartum shed was terrible. Prior
Hmm.
to that, I knew my hair was not good, and I was experiencing some things, but I didn't really panic about it till after that. And then it didn't really ever come back fully. And that's when I started realizing that I needed to do something to hide kind of my scalp.
Hmm. Yeah. So did you start doing toppers or anything smaller for, like, what was the progression before you got to
Yeah.
wig?
If I really think about it, so when I first started losing my hair, I actually did try a bonded topper. I usually say that my first helper hair experience was when I bought my first wig in September of 2018. But to be honest with you, if you go all the way back to then, because I remember my oldest was he was like 1.5. So he was
Mm-hmm.
not really, he was toddling around just a little bit. And I found a place locally here that did bonded toppers. And so I went there and I got one, and it was kind of a disaster. It didn't work out
Uh,
for me. Um, and what they did was they shaved your head. Well, for the first thing that they tried was they didn't cut your hair at all, and they pulled your hair through and like clamped it in different places. But my scalp has always been so sensitive that the first night at home, I could feel it pulling the little hairs to the point where I was in so much pain. My husband had to cut it off of me in the middle of the night, and they had just installed it. So there was no like hair to pull it up. So he was like literally pulling my hair out as he was cutting it off.
oh
So then I
no.
went and had them install it with shaving my head around the perimeter, and then they glued it there. And that was fine. It was comfortable, but they said I must have gotten a bad batch of hair because it turned into dreadlocks the first time I ever went swimming. And I was told I could do everything normal with it because it was human hair. And I had already had it for maybe a couple of months. You had to go back like every 4 weeks to have it removed and then reinstalled because your hair grows. And it
Mm-hmm.
was super expensive. I couldn't afford to keep that up. So I ended up saying, forget it. So then I had like hair shaved down to 1/8 of an inch all around my perimeter of my head. So I ended up basically having to buzz all of my hair off and let it grow out. And at that point is when I went and got a scalp biopsy. And
Okay.
that's when I was diagnosed officially with female pattern hair loss. I've also seen it called androgenic alopecia. I didn't know the term back then. They didn't tell me what it was called. They just basically said it's genetic and there's nothing that you can do. You can try Rogaine, you can try, vitamins, but nothing really works. And they were right. Nothing did really work for me. So I started using topic powder. And that's how I hid my thinning hair for 20 years. I used topic powder, and I did buy, and I actually have them somewhere in here, those little scrunchies that you can buy that look like hair. And I would sometimes put my hair back in a ponytail, and then I'd wrap one of those scrunchies around it so it would look a little bit fuller. But other
Right.
than that, when I first had to buzz all my hair off because of the fiasco with the topper, I did try to go get a wig because I had a class reunion coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And all that I could find were just like the granny wigs that locally here. And, the internet wasn't a big thing back then. This would have been like 2000. I mean, it was around, but it wasn't what it is today. You couldn't really shop online in the same way. And so I didn't think wigs were a solution. And because of that experience, I never looked into them again.
Wow. So when did you get your first really good wig?
Yeah, so that would be in September of 2018. The first thing that I purchased was a topper, and because I had hoped I could wear toppers,
Right.
I didn't really want to go to full wigs, but because my scalp is so sensitive, I just knew toppers weren't going to be a thing for me. I've watched Amber from Fabricating Fringe. I know you guys did a live with her
Yeah.
last month, and she is so good at all of the styling, and she makes toppers and halos and wigs and everything work. And she was one of the first people I discovered on video, and so I did try to emulate some of what she was doing, and
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't take the clips, and so I pretty quickly moved into wigs, and so. Some of my first wigs I purchased were terrible purchases for me, not because they were bad wigs, but
Right.
because I went for the dream hair. One of my first purchases was Aesthetica Aspen, which is now called Avalon.
Mm-hmm.
Way too much hair for a girl who has never had much hair. But it was
Right.
dream hair. It was full, and it was curly and wavy, and it was long. And so, I'd say the very first wig that I felt comfortable in wearing out in public was Renee of Paris Kai. That was one of my first wigs that I could wear because it's super flat and no permatease and really doesn't draw attention to you. So it did take me a while to get to a place where I could wear wigs like this or fuller wigs with permatease. It took me quite a while, but there's so many choices now. There's just something for everyone.
And you know what? You saying that, and that's actually something that I personally, tell somebody new to wigs is to try to find something that is a little bit flatter on top. So something monofilament or hand tied, because I feel like if you're not used to wigs, like you look so good right now with that hairstyle on, and we'll talk about what that is in a little bit. But it does have a lot of fullness. And if you're not used to that, like if you're going from your own hair being maybe thin or flat to something with a lot of fullness, other people may not see it as, oh, that's a wig, but you feel self-conscious because you feel
Yeah.
like this isn't my hair. My hair doesn't do this. So that's a really good tip, is to start off with something with low density, maybe hand tied, so that you have some nice natural volume. And then you can slowly go a little bit fuller, a little bit higher, a little bit
Yeah.
more pleasing. So that's a great
Yeah,
tip.
I always tell people that. And as a matter of fact, one of the wigs, I am going to grab Gabor Opulence, which is right up
Yeah.
here. And I didn't put that as one of the ones I'm going to show, but I'm going to show it because it really is
Mhm.
in line with what we're talking about. I always tell people, don't go for the dream hair. You have time to get to the dream hair, but start with something that's closest to what you're used to,
Right.
especially if you've been losing hair. Somebody who suddenly loses their hair, maybe they suddenly get um, alopecia areata, or suddenly get alopecia universalis or totalis, where their hair just suddenly falls out in clumps and they had super thick hair, they may be able to transition to a thicker wig quicker because they're used to seeing themselves with a lot of hair. But I'd
Right.
say a lot of us have been slowly going through hair loss and you're not ready. You're just not.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great tip, great advice. But yeah, do you need to grab that
Yeah,
up?
I'm going to grab it real quick if I can reach it
Yeah.
without knocking over all my wigs. If you hear a crash, it's only because I just dropped a whole bunch of boxes.
No worries.
Yeah, so Gabor opulence. There you go. There you go. I knew that was gonna happen. That's great. So
That's
Gabor
okay.
opulence to me is one of those great, and I know that you guys carry Gabor. Is
Yes.
one of those great wigs that I think works for a lot of people, and it's got very little permatease. So it has a lace front and it has a mono part. And so I've actually trimmed this lace front a little bit. Sometimes I like to do that. You don't have to. And the color I have is mahogany, which is GL630. So I might as well just show it to you guys right now,
Yeah, go ahead.
because I know I have a lot of brand new wig sisters who watch me
Mm-hmm.
and maybe haven't even gotten their first piece yet.
Right.
And
That one is
so this
so
one is one of my favorites, and I have worn her a lot. And
I
she's
love
so
that.
easy. I mean, she just comes out of the box looking fabulous.
It looks so good. And if you guys are our viewers looking, like look at the part, look at the hairline.
Yeah, this
It
is
looks
one of the
so
best
natural.
natural ones. I mean, the part is amazing. The lace front, Gabor makes some of my favorite lace fronts.
Right.
I just love Gabor lace fronts. I think they're fantastic. And then, oops, sorry, I hit my camera. And then you've got, it's
So
shorter in
cute.
the back
Yeah, it's
and
like
it's a little
super
bit
pink.
A-line, but it's not super A-line. I don't tend to like extreme A-lines because I think they're a little too trendy for me. I'm 49. I just turned 49 last week.
Oh,
And so I try to keep it a little on the down low sometimes with styles. But this one, I mean, it's flat, but it's got shape and it's comfortable and it's lightweight. So if you're looking for your first wig, I think you go with something that's really going to be low volume. Now, this might seem a little short to you if you're used to having long hair. I know a lot of my wig sisters want to go with the long hair. It's tough to find a wig
hmm.
that's long with low density, but I will be showing you one in a little bit, the Rock Me one that you guys have.
Yeah. And then also with Gabor, that cap feature that you have. So if you guys kind of want something similar, but maybe a different hairstyle, just look for the cap features, because the cap features is really what's making it have that low density and look so natural. So it's a lace front and a
And a
mono
mono part.
part. It doesn't have to have the full monofilament top, but if you like to change your part around, or you like to do center or side, or you switch it up, then a full mono top is really nice. But that's just so pretty. I mean, nobody would know that that's a wig. It just is
No,
a
I
haircut.
get tons of compliments when I
Yeah,
wear this one, and people have no clue.
right. So one of my questions for you, and that I always ask everybody on our hair and happiness is, so I'm sure when you first started with your hair loss, you even said that you kind of didn't want people to know you were wearing a wig. So how did you get to that place where you're, not confident and you don't want people to know, to where you are now? You just took off your wig, you put on a wig that's a totally different haircut, totally different color. So how did you get there? How can you maybe help some people that are in that early phase feel a little bit better about it?
Yeah. Well, I would just say, first of all, be patient with yourself. Don't think that because I can do this, that you're going to be able to do it. I definitely think everybody's support systems are different. I see wig sisters post a lot about their family doesn't accept their wig wearing, or their coworkers make snide or nasty comments to them about, wig wearing. And I don't, I'm lucky that I don't have that. I haven't experienced that. I think some of
Mhm.
that though is our attitude around being excited to finally have hair. I think sometimes when you approach the situation with a little bit of shame, which I think some of us experience with hair loss, we feel this shame of some sort because hair is so important to women. And I think that is something that we have to do some work on ourselves to overcome and
Mhm.
realize we didn't do anything to cause this, but we've got a great solution and we can be a champion or an advocate to others who are experiencing that. So I would just say be patient with yourself. And for me, um I'm usually pretty open about uh those kinds of things, and I just really just kind of dove in with both feet with wigs, and I just was so excited to have a solution when I was getting to the point with my hair loss where I thought I wasn't going to be able to hide it anymore, and I didn't have
Right.
any idea that wigs like this existed or that there was a wig community like this. I do think having your sisters around you and joining Instagram's a great place to get support. It does kind of start to give you confidence, especially seeing other women. But I would also add, people aren't that observant. And I have a YouTube video on this. People don't notice things usually. And
Mhm.
so if you gradually make some subtle changes to your hair, most of the time they're not even going to know that you did it, or they're going to say, something looks different about you. You look good today. And you could just blow it off and say, well, thank you. Or, I styled my hair differently. You don't have to come out of the closet right away. It sure is fun when you can get there, though. And I think for me, the mindset that I can help others, because I've had people now approach me and say, gosh, my sister, my aunt, my cousin, my niece, my neighbor, whatever, my best friend is losing her hair. Would you be willing to talk to her? They would have
Yeah.
never known had I not been open about it that I have experience with that. And so I kind of go into it thinking you never know who you're going to help. So that's kind of why I'm open about it.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that I know social media can be, a very dark place and people can, be very mean on social media, but there's also that really nice side about it. And I've noticed that like with the Wig Company's followers, with my followers on At the Hair You Love, there are just so many really supportive, nice people. And I always tell people, and you and I talked about this when we first met about, how did I get into this industry? Like I personally don't have hair loss, but it's just I'm so passionate about it and I've met so many people and everybody, I told this to you, everybody has an insecurity or just something about them that they're kind of working with. And I
Yeah.
get so inspired by just seeing all of our guests and our followers just so positive. It's contagious and I love that. So hopefully
Yeah.
everybody gets a little bit of Denise's positivity tonight. So good.
It's a wonderful community. I am so blessed. I have said this and I'll continue to say it. I actually now thank God for my hair loss because I have met so many wig sisters, and I'm a believer, and so sisters in Christ, I've met them both through this journey, and I wouldn't have had communication with all of the wonderful women I have if it weren't for my hair loss. I wouldn't have ever stepped out in this way. So I am thankful for my hair loss now, and I would just pray that others can get there, recognizing there's always trade-offs with everything in life, and
Mhm.
what is the benefit? There's usually a benefit to be found if you look for it.
Yeah, that's such a good positive outlook. And that's what I love so much about, your Instagram account and so many others. I was just going to tell our followers, I saw somebody posted that they haven't seen you in any wig that doesn't look great. That's
And I always say it's because I am so joyful about wearing wigs. I
yeah.
truly believe that to be true. There are wigs I don't think look good on me, but I have so much fun with it, and I
Mhm.
and I look at it as a window of opportunity for not just fun and fashion, but for connection. And I do think that comes across. When we're insecure, it's noticeable. And so I just try not to be that way.
Okay, so we have a question here. It's a great question. So, how do you manage wig wearing in really hot weather? So, I would
Yeah.
love your tips on that.
It's tough. Hot weather is a challenge. I
Mhm.
had a lot more trouble this summer than I had last summer, and last summer was my first summer, so it may have had something to do with the fact that I was new to wigs and I was just so into it. It also may have to do with the fact that I just turned 49, and I think I'm heading into the new phase of life, and so heat bothers me a lot more, and I'm a lot hotter. It's probably like 30, maybe 25 degrees outside right now, and I have a wide open window over here just because I get
Oh
so
no.
hot.
Okay.
So I get that. And so I would just say sometimes you just have to kind of power through. It depends on what's going on. I would wear as light a weight wigs as you can. This is a great style in the summer because it has very little permatease and very little hair. I'm going to show you Ocean by Aesthetica in a little bit, and that is so much hair and permatease. I could never wear that in the summer. She has been boxed up since last winter because of that. So the type of hair you choose is going to be critical. I think for me, I have just recently buzzed my hair. About 10 months ago, I buzzed all my hair off.
Mhm.
And I think that has helped a little bit. But I think if you can wear toppers, maybe try to wear toppers in the summer. They didn't really work for me. I know a lot of women just wear like head wraps and things like that. There is a product that's sold. And now I'm going to forget the name of it, but I have a video on it that's like you put it under your wig cap and it cools your head and it sort of absorbs any sweat. You can try products like that, but I'd say that's one of the biggest challenges with wig wearing is the heat.
The heat. Yeah. Thankfully, with the winter time, it's a little bit easier for you guys.
Yeah,
So we got
definitely.
another good question. Samantha says, I know you use It Stays, which is like I think it's the roll-on adhesive.
Hmm.
She said, do you just put it on the front or along the perimeter?
Yeah, so I just put it on the front. I wish I would have grabbed it. I tried to think of things that people might ask about and grabbed
Hmm.
a few things, but I just put it on the front. I know some people will put it at the nape as well. I have not had great success with it holding my wigs at the nape. Um, I haven't tried it since I buzzed my hair, though. I tried it when I had longer hair, and that may have had something to do with it. But all I do, I just roll it right here. Just a little bit on my forehead and a little bit on my hairline, which having buzzed hair makes that a lot easier. It doesn't really pull on my hair when I go to remove it. But then it's really just on the lace part of it on my forehead. Now, for basic cap wigs, I do it the same way and it works. I've seen
Okay.
women say that it doesn't work with basic cap wigs. I use it with
Hmm.
all wigs. It works with all wigs. And then all I do is then I just put my wig back on and then you have time to pretend I rolled it on my forehead. You have
Right.
time to situate the wig. You can pick it up. You can move it around. It's not like super glue where suddenly it's stuck in. There's nothing you can do. And once I get it situated, I have a mirror over here that I'm looking at. Then I just kind of press it and I just press it down and then I leave it. And it dries pretty quickly and then it dries super securely. And then when I remove it, I just use a wet washcloth and I kind of squeeze a little bit of water over the hairline, give it 15, 20 seconds, and then I start to lift, and usually that's all it takes to get
Nice.
it off. But it's completely water soluble, which means it doesn't work well in the summer if you get sweaty. It's interesting though, it will re-adhere when you're not sweaty anymore. So as long as you're not like going on a roller coaster or someplace where your wig's
Mhm.
going to be pulled off,
Right.
I still use it in the summer and I haven't had any issue with it. So
That's
there's
good.
other
That's good to
solutions if
know.
you're going to be sweaty, but it's very water soluble, which is what I love about it. It's super easy to remove. It doesn't ruin the lace. I've never had it ruin the lace of any of my wigs.
That's great. That's good to know. And then I had somebody comment here that there's a bamboo headliner. Maybe that's the
That's
quilling
it.
one. Okay.
That's it. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you for commenting that.
Headline it is what it's called. Headline it.
Awesome. And then somebody was asking what wig you're wearing now, which is the Opulence, right? By
Yep.
Gabor.
Gabor Opulence in the color, I don't know if this will focus, Mahogany GL630. One of my favorite Gabor colors.
And also for everybody that's watching, and hopefully, well, if you're going to watch this later, you're going to miss out. But there's the Cyber Monday sale today for 30% off. So check the wig company's page for the code, and you can definitely buy any of the styles we're showing or just anything on the website 30% off today. So, bear in mind.
So I took off the other wig, and I want to show it to you again real quick,
Yeah, show it to us.
because we didn't even talk about it before I decided I needed to show opulence based
Yeah,
on our conversation about low density wigs. But this one is not, you don't have it anymore. It's discontinued, but the color you guys have, and I wanted to wear it because I want the powers that be at the wig company to know the wig community wants this style back. And
I
I've got you
know.
back, my wig sisters who keep asking me, do you have any in at the wig company? Can you please get them to bring it back? So this is delectable and it's fabulous, and you guys don't have it anymore, but this color is amazing.
Yeah, the
Um,
color was the F33/263.
yep,
So you guys can still get the color. So the color is so pretty.
it
And
is.
the style is discontinued, but we'll see after today. We'll
I
see.
know you guys bring styles back. If make waves came back as new make waves, and there's been a number of those, so you never know.
Yeah. Julie's on here, so she's taking notes. She's taking
Yeah. Julie knows. I've messaged her multiple times about that, and I've sent her screenshots on my YouTube channel of women asking for it. So we'll do our best.
Yeah, definitely. But it's such a great style. That's the one you were wearing when we started. I know we've had some new
Yep.
kind of viewers come in. So that's Delectable, which is discontinued, unfortunately, but maybe
Yeah.
can come back one day.
Yeah.
Color F33/263. I love the color. It's like the perfect strawberry tone, and I love
It
the
is.
highlights.
Yeah, it's not rooted. I normally really like rooted colors, but it's not, and I still really love it. And the beautiful thing about synthetic wigs is you can make them your own. You could root this if you wanted to. I have a video showing using a Copic or Copic marker or
Hmm.
furniture markers to
Hmm.
root wigs.
Yeah,
Or you can use root spray. I don't like the powdered root spray because it kind of coats the fibers, but I think that, that's one of the beautiful things about wigs, though, is that you can play with them, and you don't have to just live with it just as it comes to you.
exactly. Yeah, definitely. I think that's probably, if you're new to wigs, the best advice I could give you is that don't wear it just out of the box. Like shake it, brush it, maybe have a stylist or wig professional thin it out. Maybe like you take a little spray or eyeshadow and you darken the root a little bit.
Yep.
Massage the knots if it's hand tied, like you want to really rub in the part or the hairline, like get it to do what you want it to do. Add accessories. I mean, it's really like see it as your own hair. You wouldn't just, take your hair and like wash it and that's it. Like, I mean, some people have that luxury, but a lot of
Yeah.
us, you have to work with
Right.
your hair. The wig
Yeah.
too. You don't have to do as much because it's already cut and styled, but you still want to add a little bit of your own touch to it.
Yeah, and what I love about wigs like this, I think about Gabor has a wig called Soft and Subtle, real similar style. I was going to show that. My Soft and Subtle has been worn so many times and is so dirty, I wouldn't do justice to it, so I'm not going to show it. I put it on
Okay.
earlier, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this one needs to be washed. It doesn't look very good right now. But one of the things I love about this kind of a style too is the layers and the waves allow you to really do styling. And I don't style well. Like I struggle so much with styling. And my videos, I always say that I'm not a stylist. I'll do my best to show you. But one of my
Mhm.
favorite things to do with this particular style, or Soft and Subtle, or kind of any style with layers and waves, is you can get it back in like
I
an
love that.
updo with a clip, and then you can just pull some of the hair down to kind of frame the face, and it doesn't look like a wig. I mean, and
Exactly.
now you've got a super easy style. And this is something I like to do in the summer when it's hot out, is I do like to put my hair in like updos or clips, or I wear a bandana around my wig a lot. It just feels a little bit more secure to me. But I
No,
just
I
think
love that. And
that
that
is
that
one of my favorite
simple
things to do with this one.
Yeah, and just that little simple, I'm gonna add a little clip or a headband or just something. I feel like it makes it so you and just how you were working with it. Like I would never know that that's not your hair. It looks so good.
No, and I actually have this in another color, and I remember wearing it to work once. And I have a coworker who knows most of the people I work with know I wear wigs, but
Mhm.
she had said, "Oh, is your hair growing back in? It looks so good." And I'm like, "No, this is a wig." She's like, "How did you pull that back like that? It's a wig, what?" And like people just don't think you can do this kind of stuff with wigs, and you totally can.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the positives, if we can find a positive of 2020, is that the year of 2020, wig technology is really good. like the lace front, the mono part, just the way the fiber looks and feels, the colors. It's
Yeah.
literally, obviously, it's going to keep getting better, but it's at its
Hmm.
best right now. And I think, maybe for you or for some of our other, wig clients, they started wearing wigs when they weren't so good. And even like lace fronts used to just be for, actors or on a movie set. And now they're just available to everybody. So I love
I
that. So
didn't
that's
even
the
know
positive
that.
of 2020.
It is. And so this is a Statements wig, and I will just say from Statements, I think that they make great lace fronts as well. So even though this one's not available anymore, you can see that you can't tell on this lace front at all. And I found that to be true for most of the Statements wigs I've tried. So again, this is a great choice for people who maybe don't want to spend $300 on a wig. You can still get
Right.
a super high quality wig for a very good price.
Exactly. And then even better today with the Cyber Monday, don't forget about it. Because I
Yeah.
think it's just until midnight tonight. So if you've been eyeing something or maybe it's almost time for you to get a new wig, take advantage of that coupon code.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell us about some of your favorite brands. I know you talked about statements, but just tell us some of your favorite brands and why they're your favorites.
Yeah, so I would say Gabor is one of my favorite brands. I have a number of Gabor wigs. I love the way that the fibers feel super realistic. It's,
Hmm.
they're light and airy, just like this wig. And the lace fronts are awesome and they're just super realistic looking. So I really love Gabor wigs. I love Aesthetica wigs. I have a lot of Aesthetica actually. I'm looking at all my Aesthetica boxes. I have a lot of Aesthetica. I do love their wigs. I think they've got some really kind of youthful styles, which
Hmm.
I really, really like. Um, I do love all of the Statements wigs I've tried. I've loved, so I do love that line. I do really like the lace front monofilament on wigs. I have basic cap and there are some I love, but I do really like those cap features. And so the Statements line has quite a few wigs like that. Ellen Villa, I know you guys don't carry Ellen Villa, but I
Hmm.
love Ellen Villa. I love Girl Mono specifically. That is my one all-time favorite wig is Girl Mono. Just love that wig so much, and it's a workhorse wig. So I kind of am equal opportunity though. I have like wigs. I'm looking up at all my wigs from like every manufacturer, but I do tend to gravitate towards those brands a lot.
Yeah, and I think that's good to know if you're new to wigs. I think once you're comfortable, you're not really necessarily looking at the brand, you're looking at the style and the cap features. But I think that advice from you, like Gabor, I love the fiber, and they do have their own kind of unique blend. It's called Flex Light. So that gives it that really nice natural look. But it's really good to know everybody's favorite brands because there's a reason behind it. So if you're new and you kind of don't know where to start, you could always just start looking at Gabor and
I
then
would say
narrow it
that's a
down.
great beginner brand. Yeah,
Hmm.
I find Gabor to be a really good beginner brand because of the realistic nature of the fibers. And they do, I mean, they've got wigs with permatease and wigs
Hmm.
without. I would recommend staying away from heat friendly wigs in the beginning unless they're really short. I think Make Waves is heat friendly, but it's short. So I'll be showing that one. But I think be careful with the heat friendly because we're not quite ready as new wig wearers to care for those kind of
Right.
fibers. They just require a little extra care. And so unless you're really great with hair in the beginning, you want ease. You want something that's going to not require a lot out of you because it's enough just to get used to wearing wigs.
Exactly. That's great advice too. You're full of great advice. But yeah, so heat friendly styles for those that maybe are wondering, well, why not heat friendly? So heat friendly styles are obviously have so many like pros and cons, more pros than cons, but
For sure.
they look so natural. I love that you can change the style. So like let's say you like to wear your hair a specific type of curl or you're matching an exact texture, you can literally create anything with the heat friendly styles. And what I love about it is that you curl it and you just have to do it that one time and it stays curled even after you wash it, which is really nice. But at the same time, that fiber does react to frizz and friction body heat. So usually around the neckline, longer styles kind of rubbing on your clothes, they do tend to get a little bit dry. It almost looks like split ends almost at the ends. That can be repaired. And actually, if you are having that issue and you want to know how to fix it, you can just take really thin sections and use a boar bristle brush and a blow dryer and just really smooth it out, and then maybe take a flat iron. So you can repair it, but like Denise said, it is going to require maybe a little bit more kind of expertise and like getting the most out of it. So I think that's a
Yeah.
great tip to maybe try something that's just regular synthetic.
Yeah,
I
I think
love this
so.
style that you're
This
wearing.
is a summer heat. I
Some,
know everybody I've talked to has tried summer heat, loves summer heat. This one is in the color, I think it's F1226.
yes.
And um, again, statements line, unbelievable lace front. It has the mono part as well. And the fibers, I mean, there's nothing like a heat-friendly fiber out of the box. They feel
Right.
like hair, like the healthiest hair that you can feel, like a child's hair. It feels so amazing. I just want to do this constantly with
Yes.
these heat-friendly styles, and I love it. It's just, as a new wig wearer, this was hard for me. uh, wasn't ready to care for it. So I did struggle with, my first topper was a Bell Truss top wave, which was a heat friendly, and it looked great for 4 days, but it was long. And then it started to get clumpy and I didn't know what that meant. And because it was, and then people told me I had to take heat to it to fix that. Well, heat will take the curl out of a curly wig.
Right.
And so if you're gonna go with heat friendly, I would recommend you start with a straight heat friendly style, because then at least when you take heat to it to kind of smooth out the ends, which can get frizzy, you're not removing your beloved curl, which is why you bought the wig. And
Exactly.
so that's another tip, is because you can certainly curl this, and then in order to get the curl to go out, you have to straighten it again, but you don't have to worry about ruining manufacturer put in waves on a
And then
straight
also,
style.
too, like you said, anything that's lifted off of the collar or shoulder, you're gonna have less issues with. So
Absolutely.
that length too of summer heat is probably like the perfect, like if you want something kind of long but not too long, it's the perfect style. I feel like every single person, including myself, that we've had on Hair and Happiness, loves summer heat. It's one of
Yeah.
their favorite styles.
Everybody loves summer heat. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, it's so good.
And so
And I can see why.
yeah, definitely. I love that you can like just switch totally different colors. So I was just going to mention that Summer Heat is on sale for 109, and then with the Cyber Monday sale, it's an additional 30% off. So that's a really good time. If you haven't tried it, try it because literally everybody loves that style.
It's amazing. I will tell you guys too, when you're looking at colors in this, sometimes the colors in a heat-friendly wig are different, or most of the time, than in a non-heat friendly. So that the fibers take the
Mhm.
color differently. So if you have been purchasing non-heat friendly styles and maybe you know some of the statements line colors already, don't expect the color to look exactly the same. I can't show you an example because I don't have a non-heat friendly in this color, but
Mhm.
keep that in mind. They can look different.
Yeah, usually heat-friendly colors are warmer. Like the blondes have a little bit more of a yellow tone to them, and it's just the fiber that's used for that. But I do feel Raquel Welch is one of the main brands that comes to mind that has come out with cool tone shades that were actually formulated with some heat-friendly styles, and they're still very cool tone. So check those out if you want heat-friendly but don't want like the warmth to it. Those are really great. Okay,
Yeah.
but show us another style. Let's go ahead and try some of your
Yeah, so
favorites.
I'll move on to actually the other heat friendly that I have from the statements line, which is Make Waves. This one's in a brunette. You can see my hair's dark. I am a brunette. I don't really wear blondes a lot out, occasionally if they're rooted. Um, but I do a lot of giveaways on my YouTube channel, and this summer heat that I have here was actually donated for one of my giveaways. So I'll be giving
Oh,
that away on my YouTube channel at some point.
nice.
Um, yeah, I love to give away brand new wigs on my channel. So,
And then
um,
how can people find you on YouTube? Do you want to
yeah,
mention
so if
that?
they just go on YouTube and they search Denise Sheets, just my name, so DenisesSheets, like bed sheets,
Okay,
you'll find my channel. And I
awesome.
have tons of reviews. I do tips and tricks. I talk about my hair loss. I have tons of videos on my buzzing journey. So if you are struggling about buzzing your hair potentially, I went through that and I videoed it. I think I've got 5 of them. And so it's something we all deal with, those of us losing our hair. So.
Somebody earlier asked if you wear toppers, and I know you talked about it maybe before they joined us, but what made you decide that you weren't going to try toppers I know you said a little bit about your scalp sensitivity. Was there any
Yeah.
other reason?
That's the main reason why. So the first thing I bought was a topper, and I just noticed that the clips really bothered my scalp no matter how I positioned them. Sometimes I could get it where I could wear it for a few hours without discomfort, but most of the time it just bothered me too much. And then quite honestly, once I discovered wigs, I didn't want to style my hair anymore at all. And with a topper, you have to style your hair, and it also limits you to what you can wear. You what kind of need to blend it with your own hair. And so I was really having trouble with that as well. So there were just a lot of reasons I felt wigs were better for me and what I prefer to deal with than toppers.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so what
So
style
this
are you
is Make
wearing?
Waves.
Make waves. And this
Yep.
is in
In the
color
color.
F829.
Yep. And this is, I think this wig is fabulous. It's heat friendly, so you can straighten it, you can curl it. It's got a lace front.
So good.
I don't think it has any monofilament, just the lace front. And I got to tell you guys, I was not a short hair wig wearer in the beginning. I'm a little overweight or a lot overweight, depending on who you ask. I have a round face, and I seriously think that short wigs sometimes makes my long round face look more of those two things. And but what I've discovered is that short wigs are the best with accessories and for styling. I mean, you can see how this one can take on a different look just tucking.
Hmm.
um One of my favorite things to use is John Renault. I know you guys don't carry them, but Peace Out Cream. I don't know if there's another product like this from a line that you guys carry, but I have had this. I mean, the name's almost worn off. I've had this stuff my whole wig journey, which started in September of 2018, so over 2 years, and
Wow.
I still have a bunch left. It lasts
Awesome.
forever. It's
Yeah.
the best with short wigs to give them kind of, you can piece them out and you can make them look great, or you can sleek them down. And then accessories with short wigs are the best. And I show that a lot, especially with these lace front wigs. I grew up, well, so I grew up kind of in the 80s, but 90s when I was in my 20s, and the big 90s look was kind of this with your
Yes.
hair like this and then kind of
It's
big on the
back in
back. So
style.
totally get the 90s look with this. Um,
I
but
love
I think this is adorable. I love this wig. It's Make Waves, and you can do so many things with it.
And that one is $99 and then 30% off if you order today with
Such a
the
good deal.
Cyber Monday. Yes, so good.
Really good deal. So if you can wear short, I love wearing headband. I didn't bring one in with me, but I love wearing bandanas around like a headband, and then
Yeah.
you can make it just so. This actually for whoever asked about heat in the summer,
Yes.
short wigs like this, so good if you have to wear a wig in the summer. And then I'll put a headband around it, and for some reason that seems to keep me cooler. So definitely invest in shorter wigs. um, for summer. For this is a great style to wear with turtlenecks and with scarves. So in the
So cute.
winter, if you wear high collared clothing, I think every wig wearer should have at least one short wig for those things, because they're so much easier to wear with high necked things, or if you're going to be outside with like a coat with a hood a lot, a short wig
Mhm.
is so awesome, and then it doesn't really look short.
Yeah, that's so good. And I also was going to say for like another tip for the summertime is synthetic hair wigs versus human hair. Synthetic is going to be a lot lighter and cooler. Human hair is just a little bit heavier and dense. Like it's not as breathable. You would kind of think maybe it's the opposite, but so if you're kind of wanting the coolest option, do something open wefted, synthetic, short. That's like your go-to.
Absolutely. And I have heard a lot of women say that human hair is cooler. I don't have a lot of experience with human hair, but I have gotten a couple of human hair wigs in the last 6 months. I
Mhm.
think they're hotter. I really do. I
Yeah,
think
they
synthetic
are.
is
Mhm.
cooler. And they are also subject to the humidity and to the weather, whereas this is going to hold all day. If you put your human hair like this, especially those of us with thinning hair, by the end of the day, it's flat, it's lifeless, it's lost its style. This is not going to lose its style no matter what the weather is.
Exactly. I always like to tell somebody new to wigs, like, are you good at styling your own hair? Do you want to have to style your own hair? Then okay, get human hair. And yes, you can do a lot with it. It's great for stylists that sell wigs because they can color it and make anything match. But I think for just like the end consumer, somebody that's like on the go, that doesn't really want to fuss with their own hair and never was good at doing their own hair, synthetic is literally like
That's me.
the perfect.
I have a couple of human hair, like I said, and they feel great,
Mhm.
but I grab my synthetic most of the time. It's just too much work for me, to be honest with you. Another tip I want to give people is if you're new to wigs and a style that this doesn't have a lot of permatease, which it's got some here, but it's not super full of permatease. It's just the cut that makes it look full. If you take one of these little claw clips and you can actually just sort of clip down. Actually have smaller ones than this. I didn't grab that would really be hidden, but you can clip it down, especially with the smaller one that matches the color of the wig. And then you can kind of pull the hair over the clip. It actually reduces the volume and poof. And this is something I just recently discovered.
I love
And I
that.
think it's so important to learn these tips and tricks so that you can open up your style choices.
Hmm.
Because a lot of us are on a budget. And so you notice the profile of this now just changed dramatically. So if you
Dramatic.
didn't want that kind of volume, or maybe for certain things you don't want that kind of volume, I think we've got to be open to this stuff because you want to be able to take advantage of sales or discounts. And sometimes you might be able to get a wig at a discount that isn't exactly perfect for you, but you can do things to make it really work well. And now you've just saved some money. So I do think that learning some of these tips are really going to help.
I love that. Actually, that's something I didn't know. So you taught me something I love. Okay, so somebody asked if you could show a chin length, and if you don't have it, it's Sandy. Maybe just DM Denise after, and I'm sure she probably has like some tips or like a photo of herself in a style like this. But she said, "Can you show a chin length bob with bangs in a brown shade?"
I can, I think. It wouldn't be a style that you guys carry. Before I do that, though, I just want to show this one. So this is fascinating, and this one kind of has bangs. And so it's not really a bob, it's layered. But if you wanted an all one length bob, I could certainly show that. But um,
I guess it's kind
so
of like the what did you show? Was it opulence that you put on that
yes,
really, but maybe with a bang, something
with a
like
bang, right. And so this is fascinating. And so this one has a long bang that's really, I mean, for when you get a bang, I'm not a hairstylist, and I gotta stress this. When you get a hair with a bang that's just a little too long, it's really easy to snip just a few of those to make it so you can wear it as a full bang. For those of us who can't style hair, it becomes harder if it's a long bang. But if
right.
it's already got the template for you, it's just a little too long, that's really easy to take care of on your own. But
And if yeah,
fascinating is a great piece if you want a little bit more length than like the Make Waves has, because it's
right.
longer in the back.
Oh yeah, but it's like a similar like look. What I
Yeah,
was gonna say too, if you are going to attempt to cut it yourself, which as a professional I try not to recommend that, but if you're gonna do it, I want you to know like, some tips on how to do it as good as possible. So like Denise said, like pull out the little template, make sure you angle your scissors or your shears up as opposed to going straight across. Just kind of lightly snip it, even take it in like short, like thin sections first, like do like a really thin version and say, okay, this length is good. And then take down a little bit more, but always angle your shears going up as opposed to across because it's just going to look more natural. But I
yeah.
love the style.
Yeah, so this one's really cute. And it's another one that I think you've got lots of styling potential. You know, you can put clips in, you can kind of change the way it looks. And then I always think having a little bit of hair like this is really forgiving. It does have a lace front, so you can pull it fully off, which again, if I had to choose only a lace front or only like a monofilament, I would choose a lace front every time because it just gives me more styling options, off the face styling options.
Right. And
Something
then
else,
for
go
those
ahead.
that they always wear bangs, then you kind of want to flip the what Denise said. Like she doesn't really wear bangs and she likes to style off the face, so the lace front's best. But with if you always wear your hair with bangs, you're not going to see the lace front. So you're kind of like, it could be there and it's fine, but go for like a mono part or a mono top or something where if you do have a distinct part, then you can see something that looks really natural.
Yeah. Something else I want to tell everybody too, which you only sometimes learn through experience, is how important the length in the back is as you start to go shorter. So I know for me, anything less than 1.75 inches nape starts to run into my hairline. So before I buzz my hair off, if I wore a wig that was too short in the nape, you could actually see a little bit of my bio hair poking out. So
Okay.
I know that's about 1.75 inches. Depending on the length of your hairline, it could be less or more. And so that's something to keep in mind too when you're purchasing wigs is you're looking at the length. This is a great length because it'll hide everybody's bio hair in the back.
Mm-hmm.
But some wigs are a lot shorter, and so just know that about yourself as you're learning how to wear wigs. It's kind of where it fits on you and what, how you're going to hide your own bio hair.
Exactly. That's a great tip. So we don't have a ton of more time, but what other styles do you want to show
Okay,
us?
I want to show you two things. I'm going to show you Rock Me, which is,
Okay.
I think that's a statement. Yep, a statement. What I think is really cool is that the color I have in Rock Me, I think is very similar to Aesthetica Caramel Kiss. And so I
Okay.
want to show you them both. So this is Rock Me. Rock Me is super long, super straight. This one has a monopart and a lace front. And I don't wear long wigs. I just don't think I look good in long wigs at all. And my husband, interestingly enough, doesn't like me in long wigs that much either, which you think most guys like long hair, but it's super long, like super, super. But I bought it because I was going through a updo kick, and long wigs can be so good for updos, for like messy buns. And so I really wanted a long wig for that, and I got this on one of you guys' sales. So this is Rock Me. It's so cute. I just love, it's
I
very
love that.
flat. It's very flat. Doesn't have a
She's buffering a little bit, but she should be right back.
Oh, I think I'm
Okay.
back.
Yeah, you're
Sorry.
back.
You
So
can
you
put
were
it in
saying,
updos. You
yeah,
can
you were
put it
saying
in
it's
braids.
flatter.
Yeah, it is
And
flatter.
you know what? I think sometimes people hear flat and they confuse that with like volume and like a pretty style. Like this style has volume, but it's flat. So it's two different things. So sometimes people hear flat and they're like, "Well, I don't want flat hair." It's not that it's
Yeah.
flat hair. It has volume, but it's low density like height wise on the top,
Yeah,
which
I'll
makes it
show
look
you
natural.
kind of an example of that is Ocean by Estetica.
Hmm.
Ocean has a ton of permatease. And so maybe if I do the change quick enough, you can see the difference when I'm saying kind of flat versus
Hmm.
poofy.
Right.
But I want also to just kind of tell you guys that this color, so I have in Rock Me is F8/26.
Hmm.
I think it's very similar to Aesthetica's Caramel Kiss. This is Caramel Kiss RT4, so it has a root. This one doesn't really have a root, but show you the lace front real quick. It's such a good lace front. Oh my gosh, you guys, for a brunette, these are amazing lace fronts on these statements line.
What was the color on Rock Me was F8/26. And
Yep.
when you see that F with a color number, it usually means that it's foiled or it just has more noticeable kind of chunky highlights. So kind of keep that in mind. But I love that. And it's so current right now to have kind of a chunkier highlight. So
Yep,
that would
it's
make
definitely you can. I think that's the biggest difference between that and this Ocean by
yeah,
Estetica is the highlighting is a little bit more noticeable, but it also I think has to do with the fact that Ocean is wavy, and that will really matter in how color appears in a wavy style.
that is
Can you?
so pretty.
Ocean is
Love
one of
it.
my favorite wigs, which is surprising because I don't normally like. I have like a hair fiber in my eye right now. I don't normally like long wigs or lots of permatease. This has tons of permatease, very poofy. But
But I
can you
love it.
see how
So
full
what are
this looks?
the cap features on that is lace front mono top or mono part?
Mono part, same as Rock Me.
Yeah, it looks so
Can you
good.
see though how much more volume and poofy? That's what I mean by kind of flat. Like your hair looks nice and sleek and styled and it doesn't look poofy. That's what I mean by kind of flat versus this one has a lot of like rocker girl
But you know
volume.
what though? I wish my hair could do that and stay there. It's not going to stay there.
Yeah,
So
this
that's
will stay there
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
so pretty.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. So I think that's all the wigs I brought to. Oh, Mellow. One more. I
Yeah,
gotta show you guys
let's put
Mellow.
it on.
So
We
this
have
is
just a little
Aesthetica
more time.
Mellow. This is Aesthetica Mellow, and so fun and casual. I love Mellow.
The color on Ocean was Caramel Kiss RT4. Caramel
Yes.
Kiss in Aesthetica is probably the most popular color. And then with the RT4, it just has a slightly darker root, but it's a gorgeous color.
Yeah, I prefer of the Caramel Kiss colors. I prefer the rooted.
Yeah, definitely. But I love
All
that you
right.
gave us a color that looked close in statements because the price difference is quite dramatic. The Ocean style retails for 234 and then Rock Me is $89. So it's like such a huge difference. So I love that you gave our viewers a similar color to that Caramel Kiss, which was the F8/26. And I actually had somebody ask me recently what color would be closest to Caramel Kiss because they love the color.
There
So
you go.
there you go.
So
Okay, so
this
what
is
style is this
Mellow.
one? Mellow.
Mellow. I love Mellow. Mellow is so awesome. So it's Aesthetica. It's just a shag. It's kind of a shag layered style. Super easy to wear. Just a tiny bit of permatease, not much. Great lace front. This is, I think, RH1226. I actually prefer the rooted version of this one as well, but I don't have it.
Mhm.
But like I said, you can add rooting yourself if you want
Yeah,
to.
you can definitely add rooting. I like to use just eyeshadow. If you're not sure if you want to keep it there or you want to play with
Right.
it a little bit, eyeshadow works really good. And it's a little bit more controlled. Sometimes spray doesn't go in the spot you want it to go in. It just
Right.
goes all over. So
Right.
yeah, that's a good tip. Okay, so let me just get a few more questions in because you
Sure.
showed so many styles. You gave us such great tips. So for somebody maybe that's your followers that maybe don't shop with the Wig Company or vice versa, maybe our customers aren't familiar with your page. Hopefully they can find you and get some great advice. But why do you choose the Wig Company and why do you love shopping with them so much?
Oh, well, first of all, when I found out that you guys had been around for 50 years, I was blown away. I just had no idea. And I think companies that stand the test of time have something great to offer. And I'm a fan of companies that take care of their customers. I really appreciate that you guys carry name brands as well as have your own line, which makes it a lot easier on our budgets and gives us choices. And so I love that. I love that you recognize your wig sisters or your customers on your channels and that you do things like this. And just the more I get to know you guys, the more I'm impressed that you're kind of doing this uh, for the right reasons and to really help us. I know it's a
Yeah.
business and you got to make money and that's all super important. But at the end of the day, that you're trying to bring good information to us as consumers. And the wig community is unique in a lot of ways because we're dealing with something so emotional. I know there are a lot of wig wearers out there who do it for fun and don't have hair loss. And that's awesome too. But there are some of us that don't have great alternatives. And so to have someone who's going to give us, like you, to give us tips and tricks, videos on how-tos and things like that, that's huge. We need that. And so I'm really appreciative of you guys in that way as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I know that the site may not have as many brands, but I think there's definitely plenty of variety and styles and something for everyone. So definitely check it out. Always great sales. And Julie, she's on our feed. She's in charge of our social media. She's so good about like responding to everybody's questions. And then I'm always here for you guys. My Instagram is at the hair you love. If you want somebody to help you choose a style, choose a color, maybe you need some tips or you have questions. I'm always available to answer all your questions. So we're all here for each other. Everybody's here for each other.
Yeah.
And just any online shopping tips for maybe somebody that maybe because of the quarantine or because it's, we're going or trying to survive this pandemic, maybe they can't go to wig shops anymore. Any online shopping tips?
Yeah, I would say definitely look for coupons and sales. I would say look for return policies and make sure that you're fully aware of the return policy. Utilize customer service. I think that's the other thing why I appreciate the wig company. And there's other retailers out there who do this as well. But if you reach out with color questions or style questions, somebody's there to help you. And so I think you've got to kind of empower yourself to ask questions. And then, you know, a lot of places charge restocking fees, or returns are really difficult. So I would just make sure you're fully aware of the return policy before you shop. And then I think it's important that you are part of a wig community where you can ask questions. So whether that be, you know, on Instagram or on Facebook, there's some great wig groups on Facebook that you can ask people to give you their impressions of a wig. Let me see it on you. What do you think of the wig? And, you know, that you can get another wig sister's perception as well. It's tough to do this on your own. Really tough. And I also don't know that all the wig shops have the expertise that your wig sisters have. So I don't want to knock a wig shop, but I personally haven't found one here where they were that knowledgeable, really. I went into one as a new wig wearer knowing more than they knew. So, and I've heard that story a lot. So
Yeah.
utilize customer service, utilize your wig sisters. Ask